smoke detector wasn't even there, it's a wire. I mean, you're not gonna,
Could happen to 100 other homes in the borough as well,
no,
right?
right?
It happens, right? I
But
agree.
you wanna make the residents safe.
Nobody has looked, so just, nobody has looked into an extra stipend? Maybe we can give them an extra stipend? Has anybody looked into?
There was talk
has-
of that, of the extra stipend.
Has anybody looked into the potential or possibility of, if they're so backed up on office work, a part-time secretary like we have in some of the other offices, to
No.
alleviate some of that pressure?
Isn't there also the possibility of some of the police fire officials who can do this part-time? They already are trained to do it, why aren't we using them?
There's special certifications that are needed for this role.
So then we get the certifications for them as well, cause they've been doing, they just aren't asked all the time. And I think they should be.
It's all volunteer, Kathy. It's
That's
not-
fine, they're
I'm just saying,
volunteers as
not
well.
everybody's gonna be available, people work and they have kids, so it's not like it's
We still,
a dream.
there are people who can on the fire department, who can do it.
I'd like to see your list.
All right, I'll tell you.
I don't know where you got your figures from. I emailed CFOs of the 39 municipalities in Morris County. 3 of them have full-time fire inspectors. Okay, 3.
Are
That's,
these-
I don't know, I'm not good with math. 7% of the county, maybe, have full, if that, I don't even know, 3, 7, 5, something like that, percent, have full-time inspectors.
You emailed who?
The CFOs of the municipalities, or business administrators. I have multiple towns using the same person. And our part-time person, it appears to be, if the information is right, is doing 4 towns. And a full-time job. I have questions. I am not saying that this is not the right position or that we should be doing it, but I need the questions answered. If nobody else here on the council needs these questions answered, I need the questions answered. I was elected to a position that I am responsible for the funds of this town, and everybody expects me to do my job. And I think everybody on this dais ran as fiscally responsible people. And to not have all the information and to force a vote in 5 minutes or the next meeting or whatever it is, without everything being vented that has not been vented for the last 7 years or however long it's been,
Why
is
didn't no one- why didn't no one
irresponsible
look
of this
into it?
council.
You got a memo in 2017 about
I
this.
did get a memo.
Why did no one look into it then?
It wasn't on the committee. I have Chris Shays, all of his resumes that he's given me over the past years.
It's not just
I have done,
resumes.
some research throughout the years. It's not my responsibility. Don't push this off on me. I did research, and I don't think the rest of the council has done research. You got your information from people here. It's one-sided. And if that's the way it turns out at the end, if that's the best decision, then so be it. But without looking at all the information and all the facts and all the questions being answered, and to demand a vote in 5 minutes or next meeting is utterly ridiculous. And if you wanna do that, you can go right ahead and do it. That's my 2 cents. We're all elected up here to do the right job.
Any other
There's no
questions?
respect for this position or myself either.
I don't have respect for you?
No.
Well, that's an opinion. That's not true.
Some of this stuff wasn't even talked about with the attorney. You expect to have answers like this with no context? Spring it on him like that
No,
sometimes?
we had discussions about it being separate. We were gonna have the vote on the full-time position first, and the personnel issues could not be discussed this way and had to be an executive. We did have that discussion. Several times.
Is the council being influenced by people in the audience here? Well, you have a room full of firemen here. They obviously want
I
this
didn't ask
position.
them to come. None of us asked
I'm
them
not,
to
I
come.
didn't say anybody asked them. I said, are you influenced?
No.
No, it's not, oh my God, Joe.
Yeah.
This is a big decision for the entire town and
Of
the
course it's a
entire
big
council.
decision. That's why we wanna discuss it,
Well, you wanted to move motions here 5 minutes ago.
because we've been talking about it.
That's
for
good.
years.
No,
You're acting like
we've been
this just
talking
came
about
up
it
like
for
2
2
meetings
meetings.
ago. No, that is not
And when was the
accurate.
last time before the previous meeting, 2 previous meetings ago, that it was ever discussed at a council table like this?
We discussed it in committee, Sal, we discussed it when we were on public safety, how many times, you know that?
Chris did a lot of.
It
A
gets-
lot, it's not,
It
Again,
gets
we-
quashed in
what
committee.
Jason is
It never
saying is
gets
just
out of
as a-
committee.
You were the
As a
committee
council,
chair
not
for the
as a
last 2
committee.
years, Nancy.
And I would bring it to you and you would say you weren't ready to have a
Don't say
discussion.
that, Nancy,
Mm.
don't say that.
I respect you, I would go to you.
Don't say that.
Okay, well,
2 meetings,
true.
whether you told me about it and I said no, or told me about it and I said get more information, or we had numerous conversations about it.
Mhm.
The last conversation was July of this past year, July or August. I asked for some information at that meeting that we had.
I don't think there's ever gonna be enough information for you.
So, apparently the council votes, so if the council wants to move forward, that's up to the council. But I'm saying my piece. It's not right. I don't think the council did all of their due diligence. I think they're on the right track, they're on the right road, but the due diligence isn't 100% here. We've debated things and argued things and dug deep into things for far less importance than this.
This is very important on the positive side. On the negative side, I see a lot more negatives to not doing it than I see to doing it. Honestly, it almost pays for itself. It's not financially or fiscally irresponsible. This position brings in money. I was told last year, get the position first and then ask for the ordinances that we want to protect our apartment residences. So that's what we're doing here. That's the direction I got, to get because we know as a council, we discussed it, at least my committee was in favor of passing the apartment ordinance, but I was told we don't have the staff for it. Get the staff first. That's what we're doing here.
Okay, in 2023, $63,600 worth of expenditures for fire prevention, salaries, their budget, all that stuff, okay? The part-time people, Chris's salary, FICA, whatever, everything. We realized $36,450. $27,000 is unaccounted for that falls on the taxpayers' back.
Unaccounted for.
Yes.
It's the only position that actually brings in revenue.
Exactly.
It brings in revenue, but it doesn't cover it.
That doesn't have to cover it.
That's what everybody's been saying.
It
This
doesn't.
covers the job.
I never said that, no.
I didn't say you said
I'm
it.
just saying.
You're getting value from all of our employees. You don't expect them to cover their salary. They're adding value. Our clerks add value. Our tax collector add value. Everyone adds value. Our construction office. This is a position that adds value inherently and also happens to bring in revenue. And what I have is they brought in the department $41,355 in revenue last year.
That's different than the number he gave you.
And this is in Anna's handwriting too, so I don't know.
Well, this is an Anna's too. So
Right,
I don't know.
exactly. I mean, so
Couple
you can
$1,000
come up with
isn't
different
gonna
numbers
make-
I think it
Couple
comes down.
$1,000 isn't gonna make a difference.
Right,
one way
it
or
comes
the
down
other.
to a value. What do you value? Are we here, I think our number one job as a governing body is to provide safety, health and safety for our residents.
That's my number one job as well.
Exactly. And
And we
this,
do that.
and this is,
And those people out there do that on a daily basis as well.
and they have asked for this, and as Art said, they don't ask for things they don't need. They're not asking us for.
We try to give everybody everything that they need. The
That's
police
correct.
department needs this, we get it. The police department needs that. The road department needs a new piece of equipment. We need a new computer in the clerk's office, we got that. The fire department, I just talked to Kevin 2 days ago about getting me numbers for a new fire truck. To start that discussion. I approached them, they
They
didn't
have a
approach
useful
me.
life. They have a useful life. They have to.
We just gave them $100,000 or $150,000, whatever it was, to refurbish another fire truck. So don't, to say that the fire department is a lost soul, that's incorrect.
Well, the other alternative is to contract out our fire services, and it's gonna be way more than what you're talking about with equipment.
How does anybody, we're not talking about outsourcing the fire department.
Well, we have to supply them with the equipment and
And
the
we
personnel
do.
they need, otherwise
And we do.
we'll have to outsource it.
And we do.
Jason, you said you had to reach out to Kevin to ask him about the engine?
He wrote us a letter in 2021 with a 5-year plan
No,
outlining.
this was just the other day I talked to
No,
him.
I'm just saying, but it's not like you said that he didn't provide that.
No, cause I asked him to give us a 5-year plan at that time.
But,
But I just talked to him 2 days ago about getting numbers on replacing a truck. Let's start those conversations now. So that's forward thinking, it's not waiting for them to come to us to talk about it. You know, we appreciate, in your thing, you said that we don't appreciate anything that they do. We hold every one of these guys on a pedestal higher than myself. I'm a nobody compared to what they do. And I hope everybody up here feels the same way. I think the dedication that every one of those guys gives to this town, day in, day out, for 35 years, 12 years, 2 years, the brand new Max I just see walk in here, dedicating his time and effort in here, is outstanding. So don't ever put those kind of words in my mouth like, we don't do that, because we do that.
I'm gonna read something else I wrote. I'd like to encourage Kathy, Sal, Dennis, Joan, and Nancy, and myself to feel comfortable and confident in their decisions at a committee level and with their individual votes. Our constituents elected us to make the best decisions for their families and for this town. It's unfortunate that there are some former elected officials and some current elected officials that try to make us feel uncomfortable with our decisions or intimidate us with their opinions. They have every right to their opinion, but we as council are ultimately making the decision that we feel is best for the town. Our forefathers in 1926 adopted the borough form of government, and this is to prevent one person from making all the decisions. They didn't want a king, they wanted a mayor. I would like to read the definition of borough form of government to remind our fellow councilmen and to educate the public. This is from New Jersey Municipalities Magazine, Forms of Government, everything you always wanted to know but were afraid to ask. They talk about the township, the town, the city, and our form, which is borough. The borough form remains the single most popular form of local government in New Jersey. It dates back to the Act of 1878, revised in 1897, and the Borough Act of 1987. The borough mayor is elected at large to a 4-year term. 6 council members are elected to stagger a 3-year term. The borough form is often referred to as a weak mayor and strong council form. The mayor retains all general law authority presiding over council meetings and can only vote in a tie. The mayor appoints, with the advice and consent of council, also of subordinate officers of the municipality. The council is the legislative body of the borough. All executive responsibilities not placed in the office of mayor by general law or the borough law remain with the council. Like the other traditional forms, the borough may appoint an administrator or a delegate or a portion of the executive responsibilities to him or her. The council may also adopt an administrative code prescribing how the council shall perform its duties. So we all come from different backgrounds and life experiences, and none of us know everything. We appreciate each other's elected positions, lengths of services. We should learn from our past history, but we should also be able to adapt to the ever-changing future. Our town is growing, and we need to make the right decisions to keep our residents safe, and our town as healthy as possible financially with the vibrant downtown. So this is where I feel a lot of times with the tone of your voice, tone of some other people's voice, that we try to make the right decision. Well, Nancy's done a tremendous job. We just gotta make the decision and run with it. I mean, like, you have some valid points, but we should never feel our decisions are the wrong decisions. We got elected to make decisions, so I think we should take the vote. That's my opinion. I think we have enough information. Should I second the motion?
I think enough has transpired since the first motion. I would remove it for clarification. I would remove, I would reiterate the motion, which my understanding was the motion was to not necessarily amend, but to designate the position of fire inspector from part-time to a full-time position. Was that the original motion?
Yes.
Is there someone, another member of council willing to second that motion?
Second.
Yeah, so we now have a motion, we have a second, so we have to take an individual roll call at this particular point.
Ms. Fargo,
Yes.
Mr. Bruin,
Yes.
Mr. Cortez.
I just wanna say something before I give my vote. I think the Fire Prevention Bureau, the town has grown, so there is, more need for inspections. We heard from our chief, from an incident, it's a emergency staircase being blocked. Right now, I just wish the council, and the mayor and everyone else, we really need to talk more outside of the council level and not have this happen. The disparity, all the other things. I'm in favor of either a jump or, the new position. I don't know how that's gonna work. We haven't had one talk about salary, conclusive talk. So, I am gonna, the motion on the floor right now is if we need a full-time, we wanna abolish the part-time and create a full-time, but we haven't even talked about salaries and consequences.
That's the next phase. That's not this phase.
All right, then I have to say that I have to vote yes, I am in favor of expanding the position. Yes.
Ms. Goddard,
I just wanted to share, for those that don't know, we don't have the opportunity to talk as a full mayor and council. Our form of government is set up by committee. We do work with our committees, that's 3 of us on each of the different committees. The only opportunity that we get to have these conversations, democracy in action, is at the council meeting. So that's why this is transpiring, that's why these conversations are happening now. I vote yes.
Ms. Kelly,
John, could you repeat what the motion is on the floor, please?
There's a motion, there's a valid motion pending for a vote to not necessarily increase, but to amend the position of fire inspector from a part-time position to a full-time position.
Okay, well, my only comment to that is that I can understand an extra stipend, for Chris, but I would like to keep him as part-time, so I vote no.
Mr.
Oh.
Wagner,
Okay, just to interject though, real quick, the no vote's valid, okay, but we're not tonight,
Saying anything about money?
well, it's not only that, but we're not talking about individual, this isn't,
Well, his name has been mentioned a number of times.
And it has, and I gave a little bit of wiggle room on that, a little bit of rope. But again, really, the parameters of tonight's discussion are we amending the position of fire inspector from part-time to full-time position? That doesn't encompass salary, that doesn't encompass individuals, it just encompasses the position itself. It's a very limited motion in the global scheme. It may be the initial motion of multiple motions to come at some point, but it is a very standing alone, limited motion.
I will still say no.
Mr. Wagner,
Yes.
thank you.
Still think that vote was premature. Disappointed with the council. Steve, we have 10 minutes. You think you can maybe get one personnel issue cleared up?
Yes.
We do need an executive session.